There is a grave in a churchyard outside York. It bears two names, a husband and a wife. And beneath those names, carved by an unknown hand, four words that have weathered nearly 2 centuries of English reign. They found their way. But the finding came too late, and the story of how two people spent 9 years in the same house, in the same bed, without speaking a single word to one another, that story has never been told. Not properly, not honestly. This is not a collection of famous lives. There are no lords here, no ladies of court, no celebrated names etched into the histories of parliament or empire. These are the people who were never meant to be remembered. A weaver's son from Manchester, a merchant's daughter from London, a sailor's boy who never met his father, a woman who kept a portrait of betrayal on her wall for 36 years. They lived in the Victorian era, that long and complicated century stretching from the crowning of a young queen in 1837 to her death in 1901. It was an age of industry and empire, of gas-lit streets and rigid propriety, of rules that governed not only how a person dressed or spoke, but whom they were permitted to love, and how, and for how long. Grief was expected to be tidy. Heartbreak was expected to be silent. And so it was, and so it has remained, until now. If you have ever loved someone and lost them not to death, but to distance, to silence, to the slow erosion of circumstance, stay with us. These stories were made for you. We begin not at the beginning, but at the end. It is January of 1858. A woman named Catherine Finch is dying. She has been ill for 10 days with influenza in a small stone house in the Yorkshire countryside. Her husband, Robert, has not spoken to her in 9 years. Not because he does not love her, because he does not know how to love her anymore. Not since their daughter Ruth died of scarlet fever in October of 1849, 4 months old, before she had ever learned her father's face. But Robert is here now at Catherine's bedside. He has been here for 10 days without rest. He has dismissed the housekeeper. He has canceled his business. He has sat in the chair beside her bed through the long, cold nights, changing the compress at her forehead, spooning warm broth past her cracked lips, watching her breathe with the concentration of a man who has decided he will not let her go. Catherine opens her eyes on the morning of the 11th day and finds him there, hollow-faced, unshaven, trembling from exhaustion. And something in her breaks open. She begins to weep. He takes her hand. They sit like that for a long time, without speaking. The silence between them, which had been for 9 years a wall, becomes in this moment something else entirely. Something closer to a held breath, a prayer. Catherine recovers. Robert dies 3 weeks later. The vigil had taken everything from him. Catherine buries him, and then 8 months later is buried beside him. The doctor writes heart failure. The villagers say she simply stopped. If you are finding these stories as moving as we believe you will, we ask you now, before we go further, to subscribe, ring the bell, because what you're about to hear only gets harder to bear, and you will want to be here for all of it. We go now to Manchester. The year is 1854. A young man named Thomas Alcott boards a troop train heading south. He is 22 years old. He is a weaver's son with rough hands and a quiet laugh, and he is going to the Crimea, where Britain is at war with Russia, and where the conditions are so poor, so brutal, and so medically catastrophic that more men will die of disease than of enemy fire. Thomas leaves behind a wife, Mary, and a daughter not yet born. Mary is with child and does not know the word to describe the particular terror of watching the man you love disappear toward a war you cannot follow him to. She waits. She keeps his letters. There are 14 of them, written from the front in a hand grown increasingly unfamiliar, tied with kitchen twine and kept beneath the floorboard of the bedroom, because the bedroom is the only room in the house that is hers alone. Thomas returns in 1857. He is 25. He steps off the train, and Mary barely recognizes him, not his face, but his eyes. Something behind them has gone out or gone somewhere she cannot reach. He does not speak of Sebastopol. He does not speak of the men he watched die in the trenches, of the winter that killed as efficiently as any rifle, of the things a man must do and see and survive before he is permitted to come home. He sits at the table and eats nothing. He wakes in the night screaming and then apologizes in a voice so controlled it is more frightening than the screaming. He drinks, not to celebrate, but to disappear. By 1860, Mary is raising their daughter Clara alone. Thomas is still in the house. That is the cruelest part. He is present and entirely absent all at once. He dies in 1883, 2 streets away, in a rented room. His landlady finds beneath his bed a bundle of Mary's letters, every one of them sealed. He had carried them home from the Crimea. He had never been able to open them. Mary lives until 1901. She never remarries. When a neighbor asks her why, she says only, "I am still waiting for him to come back." She is waiting still, in a sense, waiting in the way that all the forgotten dead wait, for someone to say their names out loud, for someone to understand what happened to them. You understand now. Do not let this channel be the last place these stories live. Share this video. Let someone else understand too. We move now to London, the winter of 1872. A young woman named Eleanor Ashworth is 25 years old, the daughter of a textile merchant, educated and accomplished, and entirely prepared to spend her life doing exactly what is expected of her. And then she meets William Graves. He is a school teacher. He is unsuitable. Her father makes that very clear. What Eleanor does not know, what she will not know for 20 years, is that William writes to her every week for 6 months after her father forbids the courtship. 26 letters, 1 for each week. Her father intercepts everyone. Eleanor believes William has chosen silence over her. She believes she was not worth fighting for. She marries a barrister named Hargreaves in 1874. He is decent. She is dutiful. They have 3 children and a house in Kensington, and a life that looks, from the outside, entirely proper. She does not speak of William Graves. She does not allow herself to think of him often. She becomes very good at not thinking of things. William Graves dies in 1891 of typhoid fever. He is unmarried. Among his belongings, a solicitor discovers a bundle of 26 letters, 1 for every week of the years after he stopped writing to Eleanor. He had never stopped writing. He simply had no address. Her father had moved the family without warning, deliberately, to sever the connection entirely. The solicitor delivers the letters to Eleanor in 1892. She is 45 years old. Her husband is still alive. Her children are grown. She sits at the writing desk in her Kensington house and reads every letter in a single sitting. Then she takes out paper and pen and writes back. She writes everything she was never permitted to say. She writes for a long time. Then she burns her letter, but she keeps his, all 26 of them, kept in a box beneath her own floorboard in the bedroom, because the bedroom is the only room in the house that is hers alone. We pause here because we must. If you have a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother who lived in this era, consider what she kept beneath her floor. Consider what she burned. Consider what she was never permitted to say. Subscribe if you're with us. We have 2 more stories to tell, and they are not easier. We go to Liverpool now, March of 1866. A young man named James Holt is 19 years old and has just proposed to a girl named Agnes Carr. She has said yes. They plan to marry when he returns from a merchant voyage to Cape Town. 6 months, perhaps 8. Not long. What James does not know, as he boards the vessel, is that Agnes is with child. She knows. She has known for 3 weeks. She does not tell him because she does not want to burden him with worry across an ocean. She believes he will be back before the child is born. She believes everything will resolve itself if she is simply patient. The ship is delayed, then rerouted, then struck by a storm off the coast of Mozambique that kills 4 men and leaves the vessel barely seaworthy. James does not return in 6 months. He does not return in a year. Agnes gives birth to a boy she names Samuel in October of 1866. She is alone. She has no income. She has a child and no husband and no means of survival. And the man she loves has, as far as she can determine, vanished from the earth. She marries a dock worker named Philip Hare in December of 1866. She does not love him. She survives him. James returns to Liverpool in January of 1868. 20 months after he left, he goes directly to Agnes's door. She answers it. She begins to weep before he can speak. She brings the boy out. Samuel, 15 months old, James's own brown eyes looking back at him from a face he has never seen before. The law gives James nothing. Under Victorian legislation, Samuel is Philip Hare's son. James has no claim. He is not permitted to contest it. He is not permitted to be a father in any official sense to the boy whose existence he did not know about until the boy was already walking. James never marries. He lives in Liverpool until 1904, working the docks, living quietly, taking up very little space in the world. Every year on Samuel's birthday, he leaves a small toy on Agnes's doorstep. A carved horse, a tin soldier, a wooden boat. He never knocks. He never asks for anything in return. Agnes tells Samuel the truth in 1889 on her deathbed. Samuel is 22 years old. He spends the next 15 years searching for his father. He finds an address in Liverpool in 1904. He travels there. James Holt had died 6 months before Samuel arrived. The landlady tells him this. She shows him the room. There is almost nothing in it. But on the windowsill, 15 small objects arranged in a row. A carved horse, a tin soldier, a wooden boat, and 12 others, one for every year after Agnes stopped answering the door. He had kept giving the gifts even when there was no one to receive them. There are no words adequate to this. We offer none. We ask only that you share this video, because Samuel spent 15 years looking for his father and arrived too late. Do not let these stories arrive too late to the people who need to hear them. Share this now. We come to our final story, Bath, 1887. A woman named Constance Bellamy is 31 years old. She is in love with her husband, Edward. She has been married to him for 7 years, and she is happy. Or she believes she is, which in the Victorian era amounts to much the same thing. She decides in the spring of 1887 to commission his portrait. It costs £11, nearly 2 months of household budget. She sits with the painter while Edward sits for 3 sessions, and she watches a young man from Bristol capture something true in her husband. A warmth, a solidity, a look of a man who knows where he belongs and is glad of it. The portrait is hung above the mantelpiece in October of 1887. In November of 1887, Edward tells Constance he is in love with someone else, a widow he met through his firm. He moves out before Christmas. Victorian divorce law is not kind to women. The house is Edward's. The income is Edward's. The 2 boys, aged 6 and 8, are legally his, though he leaves them in Constance's care out of what he calls, with a straightness of face that would haunt her, convenience. Constance moves into a small terraced house in Bath. She takes almost no furniture. She takes the boys. She takes the portrait. It hangs above the mantelpiece in Bath. It hangs above the mantelpiece in the next house when she is forced to move again, and the next. Her grandchildren grow up beneath it. They assume it is a beloved grandfather, a man of importance, a patriarch of some dignity. They learn the truth after Constance's death in 1923. The portrait is identified. The family understands finally whose face has been watching over them all these years. No one can explain it. There is no letter. There is no diary entry. There is no note tucked behind the frame. Constance Bellamy kept the image of the man who destroyed her life on the wall of every home she occupied for 36 years, and she left no explanation for why. Perhaps she wanted to remember what love had felt like before it became something else. Perhaps she wanted her boys to have a father's face, even a faithless one. Perhaps, in some private language of grief that no one else was given the key to, the portrait meant something entirely different from what it appeared to mean. We do not know. We cannot know. And that is the thing about hidden heartbreak. It hides. It hides in bundles of sealed letters and undelivered toys and portraits of faithless men and graves with 4 carved words. It hides in the floorboards of bedrooms and the silences between 2 people who have forgotten how to speak. The Victorian era gave these people almost no language for what they suffered, no vocabulary for the damage that war does to a man's interior, no legal protection for a woman whose husband simply decided to leave, no recourse for a father separated from his son by timing and tide, no counsel for 2 people paralyzed by grief inside their own marriage. They bore it, quietly, as they were expected to. They bore it for years and decades and lifetimes, and most of them bore it alone, and most of them died without ever being asked about it. We have asked, on your behalf and on theirs. If these stories have moved you, and we believe they have, then do one thing before you close this window. Leave a comment below. Write the name of someone you know who bore something quietly, who kept something beneath the floorboard, who waited for someone to come back. They will not read it, but you will have said it, and that matters more than you may think. Subscribe to this channel. There are more stories like these, from the workhouses and the drawing rooms, from the colonies and the counting houses, from the long Victorian century that built the world we still partly live in. Stories of people who were real, who felt everything, who left almost no trace. We will find them. We will tell them. And now, for Robert and Catherine, for Thomas and Mary, for Eleanor and William, for James and Agnes and Samuel, for Constance, we are done. They found their way. even if only we at this great distance can see it.